By age 60, nearly 1 in 3 adults feels knee or hip pain just from walking across the room. Yet few realize the right kind of movement can actually rebuild joint support instead of wearing it down. Today, you'll discover the top exercises that don't just keep you flexible, they help protect and even renew your joints from the inside out, helping you move like you did a decade ago. If your joints could feel 10 years younger starting next month, how differently would you move? Would you walk farther, dance longer, or finally get back to the things you've been avoiding because of pain or stiffness? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly which simple movements can make that happen, even if you're sore or haven't exercised in years. Here's something most people over 60 never hear from their doctor. Your joints don't wear out from movement. They wear out from stillness. When you stop moving, the cartilage in your knees, hips, and shoulders loses its supply of nourishing joint fluid. Think of that cartilage like a sponge. It stays soft and hydrated only when it's gently squeezed and released. Without that movement, the sponge dries out, and that's the stiff, creaky feeling so many call old age. The magic lies in something scientists call gentle load. When you move with light, controlled pressure, enough to engage, but not strain, you stimulate cells called chondrocytes. These cells are the gardeners of your cartilage, keeping it alive and elastic. Imagine this. Every time you lower into a slow bodyweight squat, or rise carefully from a chair, or press your back gently against the wall and hold a semi-squat for a few seconds, you're not just exercising. You're feeding your joints. You're literally sending nutrition back into the cartilage. Research from the American College of Rheumatology found that older adults who practiced these light, joint-friendly movements 3 times a week saw measurable improvement in flexibility and comfort in just 4 weeks. 4 weeks of smart movement can do what years of stiffness could not. So the takeaway here is simple. Your joints don't want rest. They want rhythm. Movement is medicine, as long as it's gentle and consistent. But that leads to an important question. How can you apply that gentle pressure safely, especially when your knees already ache? If the knees are the body's hinges, the hips are the engine that drives everything. They control your stride, your balance, your posture, even how tall you stand. But for many people over 60, the hips are quietly forgotten until one day, walking feels slower, climbing stairs feels unsteady, or standing up straight feels like work. The secret to reversing that decline isn't stretching, it's activation. Inside your hips are 2 small muscles that make all the difference. The gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus. They act like seatbelts for your hips, keeping them steady as you move. When they weaken, everything downstream, your knees, ankles, even your lower back, starts to compensate. To wake those muscles up, focus on small, controlled motions. Try gently lifting one leg out to the side while holding onto a wall or a chair for balance. You'll feel the side of your hip fire instantly. Add in a few slow, circular motions with your hips to keep the joint lubricated, or take small, side-to-side steps with a light resistance band around your knees. The goal isn't to strain, it's to reintroduce control. Do that 2 or 3 times a week, and your body starts to feel recalibrated. You walk taller, your stride feels smoother, and your balance subtly improves. It's like your body remembers how to move efficiently again. A 2023 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who practiced hip-focused movements 3 times per week had 40% fewer falls and significantly better walking stability after 8 weeks. That's not fitness. That's independence restored. So when people talk about moving like you're younger, it's not a myth. It's the natural result of retraining the muscles that keep you upright and confident, starting with your hips. And from here, we'll move upward to the next major player in joint health, your shoulders. They're often the first to stiffen with age, but the good news is that one overlooked motion can open them up and restore posture almost instantly. Here's something few people realize until it's too late. Shoulder stiffness isn't caused by age. It's caused by disuse. The shoulder joint is the most mobile in the human body, but it's also the most underused once people stop reaching overhead, lifting, or rotating their arms daily. Think about it. When was the last time you reached behind you or stretched both arms above your head without hesitation? Most people stop doing that somewhere in their 50s, and by 60, the shoulders have already started tightening. The fix isn't aggressive stretching. It's gentle circular motion. Picture slowly drawing circles with your shoulders, first forward, then backward, breathing deeply with each rotation. You can even add what therapists call pendulum swings, letting one arm dangle loosely while you trace small, controlled circles in the air. It's easy, but incredibly effective. That motion does two things at once. It warms up the joint capsule and brings blood flow to the rotator cuff, those small but vital stabilizers that prevent shoulder pain. Over time, this simple habit improves posture because once the shoulders loosen, the chest opens and the upper back stops rounding forward. The spine is more than a stack of bones. It's your body's communication line. Every nerve signal that travels to your joints passes through it. That's why a stiff or immobile spine doesn't just affect your back, it quietly disrupts every joint below it. Over time, as people sit more and move less, the small muscles around the spine, called the multifidi and erector spinae, weaken. Without their support, posture collapses and pain begins to echo into the hips, knees, and even the neck. The good news is, you don't need complex yoga poses to wake the spine up. Just gentle, rhythmic movements, like slow torso lutations or controlled side bends, can rehydrate the discs and feed your nervous system with oxygen and motion. Even sitting tall and rolling your shoulders back a few times a day reminds your body to stay upright. A 2023 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience showed that older adults who practiced 5 minutes of spinal mobility work daily improved balance and coordination by nearly 30% in just 2 months. That's how deeply the spine influences everything else. So next time your back feels tight or your walk feels shorter, think less about stretching and more about circulating. When your spine moves, your entire body listens. As we age, movement tends to become isolated. We bend from the waist instead of flowing through the hips. We turn our necks without rotating the shoulders. Every motion becomes a separate act instead of part of a connected rhythm. That separation is one of the biggest reasons older adults feel stiff, not because the joints can't move, but because they've forgotten how to move together. Rebuilding this flow is easier than it sounds. It starts with small, linked movements that involve several joints at once. For example, gently turning your torso while your arms swing naturally, or performing slow marching steps while moving your arms in sync. Even simple reach and twist motions while standing help reconnect the body's internal rhythm. When you do this regularly, something beautiful happens. Your body begins to move like a single coordinated system again. Your shoulders, spine, hips, and knees start to cooperate. Every step feels smoother, lighter, more intentional. In 2024, a study from the Journal of Functional Movement found that adults over 60 who practiced coordinated movement patterns like Tai Chi or rhythmic walking drills improved overall mobility and reduced joint stiffness by over 50% compared to those who focused on isolated exercises. That's the essence of youthful movement. Not speed, not strength, but harmony. When your joints stop working against each other and start working with each other, even ordinary movements begin to feel effortless again. And now that we've rebuilt movement from the ground up, the next blocks will focus on how to maintain that freedom, including recovery, flexibility, and the subtle daily habits that keep joints nourished for years. Here's something most people get wrong about recovery. Rest doesn't mean doing nothing. True recovery is an active process. It's about circulation, not stillness. When you sit still for long stretches after exercising, joint fluid settles, muscles tighten, and the next day you feel stiffer than before. The secret is gentle motion between your workouts. Light walking, slow stretching, or even rolling your ankles while watching TV. All of it keeps nutrients moving into the joints and helps flush away the waste that builds up from daily use. Think of your body like a garden. If the soil sits untouched, it hardens. But if you gently turn it now and then, air and water flow freely, and everything grows stronger. The same happens inside your joints. Research from the European Journal of Physiology found that active recovery, as simple as 10 minutes of light movement after exercise, can speed up tissue repair and reduce next-day stiffness by nearly 30%. So instead of collapsing into the couch after a workout, give your body a soft landing. Move a little, breathe deeply, and let recovery circulate. Once you understand recovery, flexibility suddenly makes more sense because it isn't about stretching further. It's about teaching the body to relax into its own strength. Most people chase flexibility like it's a contest, trying to touch their toes or pull deeper with every stretch. But the truth is, after 60, flexibility should feel like release, not strain. The goal isn't to force longer muscles, it's to invite them to move freely without tension fighting back. Here's the trick. Instead of holding painful stretches, use breathing to signal safety to your muscles. Inhale gently, then exhale as you ease into the motion. Never beyond comfort. Over time, your nervous system learns that movement is safe again, and the muscles naturally let go. For example, when reaching toward your toes, focus less on distance and more on rhythm. Breathe, hinge gently from the hips, exhale, and rise again. That rhythmic motion improves flexibility faster than static stretching ever could. A 2023 study in clinical rehabilitation showed that older adults who practiced breath-based stretching improved flexibility and reduced pain twice as effectively as those who forced deep static holds. The reason is simple. Calm muscles cooperate, tense ones resist. So instead of chasing stretch goals, think grace over grind. Flexibility isn't how far you go. It's how easily you move when you get there. And the key to making that flexibility last is keeping blood and joint fluid moving, which brings us to one of the most overlooked factors in joint health: circulation. Most people think of good circulation as something for the heart, but it's just as vital for your joints. Healthy joints depend on a constant exchange of oxygen and nutrients. And because cartilage has no direct blood supply, it relies entirely on the fluid that moves when you move. That's why even a few minutes of gentle motion can do more for your circulation than any massage or supplement. Simple routines like walking around the house, rolling your shoulders, circling your ankles, pump nutrient-rich fluid in and waste fluid out. That process keeps joints nourished and inflammation low. A fascinating 2024 paper in the Journal of Musculoskeletal Health found that older adults who performed 10 minutes of light, full-body movement after long sitting periods improved joint lubrication markers by over 40% in just 2 weeks. So if stiffness creeps in during the day, don't wait till evening to fix it. Every few hours, stand, roll your shoulders, take a few slow steps, and let your blood remind your joints that you're still alive and moving. And if there's one time of day that multiplies the benefits of circulation, it's the morning, when your body transitions from rest to readiness. Let's unlock that next. Most stiffness shows up first thing in the morning. That's because joint fluid thickens overnight and muscles tighten while you sleep. But the first 5 minutes after waking are golden. That's when you can reset your body for the entire day. Before you even get out of bed, start with small movements. Point and flex your feet a few times. Rotate your ankles and gently bend your knees side to side. Then sit up slowly, roll your shoulders back, and take a deep breath that expands the chest. These tiny actions send a signal through your body. It's time to move. Once you're standing, add a bit of gentle flow, maybe a few slow arm swings or easy torso twists. It's not about exercise yet. It's about circulation and alignment. Within minutes, the stiffness fades, the spine wakes up, and energy begins to rise naturally. Researchers at the Journal of Aging Movement Science found that adults who perform short mobility routines each morning reported 50% fewer joint pain complaints throughout the day and improved posture within a month. So the next time you wake up stiff, don't wait for coffee to kick in. Let movement do it first. Your joints don't need to be shocked awake. They just need to be invited. And once the day begins smoothly, the next challenge is keeping that mobility alive during daily tasks, from walking to carrying groceries without slipping back into stiffness. That's exactly what we'll explore next. Most people think exercise has to happen in a gym, but your body doesn't care where movement happens. It just cares that it does. In fact, one of the most effective ways to keep your joints strong after 60 is to blend movement into the things you already do. Think about it. Every time you reach for something on a high shelf, that's a shoulder stretch. When you bend slightly to pick something up, that's a mini hip hinge. Even climbing stairs becomes powerful resistance training if you slow it down and press through your heels. So instead of adding more workouts to your life, start turning life itself into a workout. Carry your groceries one bag at a time to build grip and arm strength. Stand on one foot while brushing your teeth to challenge your balance. When you sit down, control the descent and rise slowly. That's a perfect squat pattern in disguise. Researchers from the Journal of Functional Aging found that older adults who integrated movement into everyday tasks improved lower body strength and mobility by nearly 40% in just 6 weeks, without ever doing a traditional workout. Your joints don't need a gym membership, they need consistency. Every movement counts, especially the small ones. And when you start moving more throughout the day, another opportunity appears to build real, pain-free strength that protects your joints long-term. Here's something refreshing. You don't need to lift heavy weights to get strong. In fact, after 60, the smartest way to build strength is through controlled resistance. Just enough tension to challenge the muscles while keeping your joints comfortable. Bodyweight exercises are your best ally. A slow sit-to-stand from a chair, pressing gently against a wall, or holding a light resistance band can activate deep stabilizers that protect your knees, hips, and shoulders better than machines ever could. The trick is in the tempo. Slow, steady, deliberate. Lowering with control teaches your joints to manage loads safely. Rising with purpose strengthens the muscles that support alignment. It's training with mindfulness, not momentum. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences found that seniors who practiced slow-tempo strength work 3 times a week gained up to 25% more joint stability compared to those who used faster movements. Less pressure, more power. That's the formula. You'll know it's working when everyday motions feel lighter. Carrying laundry, climbing stairs, even standing from the couch. All start to feel like less effort, more flow. And as strength grows, posture naturally follows. But good posture isn't about standing stiff. It's about learning how to align your body with ease. Posture has become one of the most misunderstood topics in health. People think good posture means holding your shoulders back and standing tall all the time. But that kind of rigidity just creates new tension. Real posture isn't about posing, it's about balance. When your head, spine, and hips are aligned, the pressure on your joints distributes evenly. Your body doesn't have to fight to stay upright. It simply rests in its natural design. That's why poor posture isn't just cosmetic. It's a major cause of joint fatigue. Here's the simple fix. Imagine a gentle string lifting the crown of your head, letting your spine lengthen, and your shoulders relax naturally. Breathe deeply. Let your chest open and your ribs drop softly. This subtle awareness instantly resets your alignment without effort. Researchers from Harvard Health Publishing reported that posture correction alone can reduce joint discomfort by up to 30%, simply because proper alignment redistributes load evenly through the body. The phrase "you are what you eat" becomes literal when it comes to joint health. Cartilage, tendons, and ligaments all rely on a steady supply of collagen-building nutrients, things like vitamin C, zinc, and amino acids from quality protein. Without them, repair slows and stiffness creeps back in. You don't need exotic powders or expensive pills. Start with color and balance. Bright vegetables, omega-3 rich fish, berries, and lean protein. A handful of nuts or seeds each day adds healthy fats that cushion the joints from inflammation. Collagen supplements can help too. Studies from nutrition research reviews show that adults over 60 who took 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen daily improved knee comfort and mobility after just 12 weeks. But remember, collagen only works when vitamin C is present, so pair it with citrus, kiwi, or peppers. Think of every meal as a small investment in your cartilage bank. You're either depositing repair materials or withdrawing them. Choose deposits. Your joints will pay you back with motion and comfort. And while nutrition builds the foundation, the real trouble often starts with what breaks it down: chronic inflammation. Let's calm that next. Inflammation is your body's alarm system. It's meant to heal short-term damage, but when that alarm never turns off, it slowly erodes your joints from the inside. After 60, low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, becomes one of the biggest silent drivers of stiffness and pain. The good news is, you can turn that fire down naturally. Foods rich in omega-3s, like salmon, flaxseed, or chia, help balance inflammatory signals. Spices such as turmeric and ginger contain compounds that calm those same pathways, acting almost like natural ibuprofen without the side effects. Even light daily movement plays a role. Studies in arthritis and rheumatology show that just 20 minutes of gentle exercise can reduce inflammatory markers in the blood within hours. Your body literally cools itself through motion. So instead of thinking of inflammation as an enemy, treat it like a signal light, a reminder to move, hydrate, and nourish. Every small choice that lowers inflammation helps your joints act their age or younger. Here's the truth few people say out loud. Joint pain doesn't just limit your body, it quietly changes how you see yourself. Many people stop moving because they think they're fragile, when in reality, their joints are waiting to be reawakened. That's why the most powerful exercise you can start isn't physical, it's mental. Shift from I have to move to I get to move. The moment you treat movement as a privilege instead of a chore, everything changes. Think of your body not as something that's wearing out, but something that's retraining itself. Every stretch, every careful step, every gentle squat, they're all votes for the kind of future you want to live in. Research from the Journal of Health Psychology found that older adults who viewed physical activity as self-care instead of obligation maintained their routines twice as long and experienced far less pain over time. Your body listens to your mindset. When you move with gratitude, not frustration, your nervous system relaxes, your muscles release, and your joints follow suit. And once that shift takes root, what truly keeps your joints thriving isn't any one exercise. It's the quiet power of consistency. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. The truth is, your joints don't care about intensity. They care about frequency. The body thrives on repetition, not perfection. Even 5 minutes of mindful movement each day, like circling your shoulders, rolling your ankles, gentle squats, or short walks, sends a powerful reminder to your joints. We're still alive, we still move. It's like brushing your teeth. One session doesn't change much, but daily practice prevents problems before they start. The same principle applies to mobility. In fact, a long-term study from the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found that adults over 60 who moved consistently, even in short bouts, were 48% less likely to experience chronic joint stiffness after 5 years than those who exercised sporadically. So don't wait for motivation. Let movement become routine. Small, steady habits outlast big, heroic bursts every time. And with that, let's bring everything together. The core lessons, the daily reminders, and the one powerful truth this entire journey leads to. By now, you've seen that joint health isn't about chasing youth. It's about maintaining freedom. It's about understanding that movement nourishes your joints, strength protects them, and stillness, not age, is the real enemy. Start small. Hydrate. Move a little every morning. Feed your body well and let your joints know they're still in the game. Every step you take, every rotation, every deep breath keeps the fluid moving, the tissues alive, and the energy flowing. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to keep showing up. Because motion, no matter how small, is what separates decline from renewal. So make movement your daily medicine, not as punishment, but as proof that your body still works, still heals, still grows stronger. And remember, your joints don't age on a calendar. They age on usage. Keep them moving, and they'll keep you moving. If you found this guide helpful, share it with someone who needs a reminder that it's never too late to rebuild. And subscribe for more science-backed ways to stay strong, mobile, and vibrant after 60. Remember, this information is for educational purposes only and not professional medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before starting any new exercise or wellness program.